Hi everyone, it's Chelsea from the Allen County Public Library, and this is our first video in our In Stitches series. And in this series, I or Jamie will be showing you knitting or crochet techniques. And in this first video, I will be showing you how to do a knitted cast on. And that is how you get started and create the base of a knitted garment or piece of work. Now, I chose this one to start off with because it has more structure than some of the more basic cast-on techniques. It gets you in that rhythm of the knitted motion, and it also has a more uniform look. So we'll get started. So to get started, you're going to need a set of knitting needles and your yarn. And for the purpose of this video, I have some circular needles, but if you're just getting started and getting into the practice of knitting, just any needles will do. I prefer to start people off with larger needles just so that you have something bigger to work on. It's kind of more difficult with the small needles. But we are going to get started here. So you're going to take your yarn and you're going to leave about a 6-inch tail. This is what you'll need at the end of your piece of work to weave in. So leave about a 6-inch tail there. And then we're going to start with a looped knot. So we wrap that around our index finger, and then we'll pull the tail through. Not all the way, just pull the loop through. So we've got a knot here. Now, I'll show you that one more time. So we'll wrap that around our index finger, kind of create an X. And then we're going to push the tail end there through and pull. And that is how you get a slip knot. So we'll put that on our needle. Now, I'm showing you this for right-handed people. If you are a lefty, it's going to look a little different from you. I know Miss Jamie learned how to knit right-handed even though she's left-handed, but that was a little tricky for her. So you might want to look at a different tutorial if you're left-handed. But here we go. So I always tell people when we get started, there are many different ways to hold your needles. There's no one right way. But I've been knitting for a long time, and my grandmother taught me how to knit, so she always taught me to wrap your pinky with your thread and then let it rest on your index finger. And you want to keep that close to your work. Now, a lot of people start just holding it like this. I don't fuss at people however they want to hold it because it's a lot to take at first. So whatever makes you the most comfortable, whatever is easiest for you, do that. But this method right here has always worked for me because I can keep my tension. I can hold that really tight if I need to, and it glides through really easy as well. So once you get that taken care of, we're going to hold the tail with our needle in our left hand so that we don't accidentally knit that into our work because there's only so much we have here. So what you're going to do to get started is you're going to insert your needle in your right hand through this loop, and we'll go from front to back. And you want to make sure that your stitches, especially that first loop, is loose enough that you can get both of those in, but not so loose that you're going to have a big gaping gap there. So we'll put front to back, we make a little X with our needles, and we'll throw the yarn around, kind of like a lasso motion. We're throwing it around that back needle, and then I'll use my index finger of my left hand and I'll push that through. And in this motion, you're going to catch what you wrapped around your needle and pull it through. Now this is what a knit stitch basically is, but the difference in a cast on is we are going to put this loop onto our needle in our left hand. So we now have 2 stitches on here. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time. We're going to go in through the front and put our needle in the back. So we've made our X motion. We're going to throw our yarn around that back needle, and we're going to push that needle through and catch that yarn as we pull it under. Whoops, see, here's a mistake I've made. I've caught the yarn. See, there's two on there. There should only be one. I've caught that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pull that needle out, let it go. We'll do it again. Push it through, wrap around, and pull through. See, I've been knitting since I've been about 12 years old. So even I make mistakes from time to time. Also, it's tricky when you're watching a screen instead of your hands. Okay, so we'll do that a few more times just so you can see. We're gonna insert, go from front to back, wrap around, use that index finger to push that needle through, catch it on the way under, and then we'll put it back on the needle and pull off our needle on our right hand. So we now have 4 stitches there. Now when we teach knitting classes at the library, we always say it's best when you first get started to just do, if you make mistakes, that is fine. You just want to keep doing it over and over and over and over until you get comfortable. Because I was not comfortable holding my yarn and my needles and everything all at once when I was a kid learning this. It took some practice. So practice makes perfect. So we'll insert again, wrap around, push through, catching the yarn on our way under, and putting it back on the needle. And as you go, you're not going to have perfect tension, especially if you're a beginner. I have a pretty consistent tension on mine. But if you're a beginner, there may be big gaps, there may be loops there that you don't know, but the thing is to just keep going. Do this over and over and over, and you'll get used to how to hold it. You'll get used to how much tension you should give yourself. You'll get used to holding the needles, and it will be so much easier the more you practice. So don't give up just because it's hard at first. Okay, so that is what the knitted cast on looks like. All right, so that is how you do a knitted cast on. If you have any questions about how to do this, or if you need any help, feel free to leave a comment below and we will try to help you out with that. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll come back next time. Thanks.